This is Run It Back with RJ Broadhead.
Welcome to the show. This is Run It Back. I'm RJ Broadhead. The Tiger Cats are now a third through the season, and they have 2 wins and 4 losses. On Friday, they lost to the Argonauts 31-15. It's the second time this season that Toronto has beaten Hamilton. The Argos remain the only undefeated team in the CFL at 5-0. The Ticats got off to a slow start in this one again. They trailed Toronto 20-3 at halftime. Through 6 games, the Tiger Cats have not scored a touchdown in the first quarter. They've managed just 2 James Butler touchdowns in the second quarter this season. That's 2 touchdowns in the first half so far this season. That's compounded by the fact they've allowed 13 touchdowns to their opponents in the first half. It's tough to win when you're playing from behind, and they've trailed at halftime in 5 of 6 games, including double-digit deficits 4 times. Here's linebacker Chris Edwards.
We a team, of course, but we can't worry about offense and special teams. We got to worry about weak control. So, as long as we stopping them from getting points, 3 points, or we getting turnovers, that's all that matters, and that'll help the offense. Yeah, it's definitely tough, and playing in the games, you telling me these stats, I don't notice it because I'm playing the game, but we can't win football games like that, though. We got to start faster. We got to play together, and we got to be physical, cut down the penalties. We handle those 4 or 5 things, we'll be a much better team.
Now we hear from receiver Terry Godwin on getting off to better starts.
Like we've been saying all season, we just offense got to come out and be on all courts and be clicking on all cylinders from the start. We can't wait till that second half or that third quarter or second quarter to try to play catch-up ball and then kind of put all the pressure on our defense once they're doing what they're supposed to do. Once we get those 2 and outs on defense, offense got to go out there and click on all cylinders and put up points, not field goals, but touchdowns. And that's the difference that's going to set us aside and put us above the other teams. So once we get that, there's no team out here that can stop us when we're clicking on all cylinders.
In 2 games against Toronto, both losses, the Ticats have never had a lead, not even for a second. They also haven't forced any turnovers against Toronto. It's the 3rd time in 6 games the Tiger Cats have failed to get any takeaways in a game. Penalties have been a problem too. For the 2nd straight game, the Ticats took at least 100 yards in penalties. It's also the 3rd time in 6 games they've hit triple digits in penalty yardage. That's a lot of penalties in half their games so far. Chris Edwards has been one of the best Ticats defenders this season. He had another big game against Toronto. He has 23 tackles on the season. 10 have come against the Argos. He has 3 quarterback sacks on the season. 2 have come against the Argos. So the former Argo knows the Ticats can and will play a lot better going forward.
We just got to go harder. They rolling right now. That's a good football team over there. But I feel we got a good football team over here. So as long as we come together, we cut down on the penalties, and we continue to be physical. It's a long season. We going to come together, and eventually we'll start beating everybody. We have to have accountability partners, because when you shooting yourself in the foot like that, it's hard to win games. Not only is it a team trying to beat you, but we beating ourselves with penalties. So, just like you said, we got teammates. We holding each other accountable because that has to stop in order for us to get to where we want to get to.
The Argos rushed for 112 yards in the game. It's the 5th time in 6 games where the Ticats have allowed over 100 yards rushing. To put that into perspective, the Ticats allowed 100 yards rushing 3 times in the regular season in 2022. They finished as the number 1 defense against the rush. Edwards says the run defense is something the Ticats are focused on improving.
5 games out of 600 yards, we have to key on it. It's a must we stop the run because in football, if you can't stop the run, it's tough to stop the pass. So, that just comes with being physical, like I said in the beginning, being physical and just being assignment sound, being in our gaps, and we'll come together and stop the run.
Taylor Powell went 27 for 41, 282 passing yards. He threw an interception and ran 13 yards for his first CFL touchdown. It was a good performance in his first CFL start against one of the best defenses in the CFL. Powell's favorite target was Terry Godwin. Godwin caught 7 of 9 targets for 103 yards. It was Godwin's first 100-yard receiving game in the CFL.
If you're a big stat guy, unlike myself, because I really don't watch stats at all. So if you're looking at your own stats or your team stats, then you know what your accolades are and what you're doing. But me personally, I just go out there and play ball. Whatever comes my way, I'm catching it. However many yards I get, that's what I do. As long as we win at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. Like I said earlier, we haven't been coming out on top. So, I mean, it's just the small things that we got to go back and change. I'm happy that I got the stats or whatnot, but the outcome wasn't what the team wanted or what we wanted. So, I mean, yeah, it's a great self-accomplishment, but I want a team goal, and we didn't get that. But, I mean, like I say, looking back on my performance, it was good, but I feel like I could have done more to help the team since we didn't get the win.
And that's the perfectionism, and I know there was the one that was tipped.
Oh, man, yeah.
It was like a change-up in baseball.
Yeah, man, and crazy thing is we work on those type of balls at practice, and that one, I'm the type of guy like you just said, I'm a perfectionist, so, like, the balls that come to me, I love to catch every pass, regardless of how it's thrown, whatever. But me just seeing that ball and it tipped off my hand, it kind of got to me. But at the end of the day, I'm a receiver. That's what I get paid for, so I got to make those catches.
Godwin has no touchdowns in his CFL career yet, but it's coming, right, Terry?
I mean, we're going to get there sooner or later, but as long as we're doing a great thing as a team, I can't force it. So whenever it comes, I know it's going to be a big-time moment for me. So
the offensive coordinator behind me giving a thumbs up to that, that's probably a good sign.
Yes, sir. I mean, Coach Tommy, that's my guy. We have a great time there in the offense, a meeting room, and just to see him, happy and being cheerful, I mean, it shows what we have on this team.
Last season, Godwin had 107 yards receiving total, albeit it was only a couple of games, but he almost matched that total against Toronto. It's the second straight game that Godwin has had the most targets and receptions among Ticats receivers. He is emerging as a star in this Ticats receiving corps. It was a good game for Godwin, but the team leader in receiving yards is Tim White. White did not add to his totals. He had no receptions against Toronto and has just 3 catches in his last 3 games. The good news is he's healthy, so no issues, just a rare, quiet game for him.
It's challenging for sure, and obviously I expect to get, catches. So it's just something I have to, battle myself with, and it's just another challenge.
I think we had a similar conversation last year. I actually looked back. It was 2 games you had 3 receptions. So now this is 3 games with 3 receptions. Do you remember what happened after that slow stretch?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I finished like my last out of 10 games. I probably had 7 100-yard games or something like that. Yeah.
Is that something that, maybe we can hope for going forward?
Yeah, I hope so. Obviously I want to bring my best, to the games and make sure that I give the fans something to, remember. And hopefully we are able to do that down the stretch.
Watch for Tim White to have a big game on Friday. The great players always seem to improve after slumps. In the 2 wins for the Ticats this season, offensive play calls have been close to 50-50 between the pass and the run. In the losses, the Ticats have been very pass-heavy. The Argos did their homework and knew the Ticats would lean on their running game, not only because it had been effective, but also if they could establish consistent runs, it would ease some pressure on the rookie quarterback making his first CFL start. The Argos limited James Butler to just 14 yards on 8 carries, a far cry from his 127 yards he racked up against Edmonton. So Toronto did their homework on the Ticats running game. The Ticats will try to get the balanced attack going and get a win in Ottawa on Friday. The Red Blacks are ahead of the Ticats in the East Division. They're currently in second place in the division, so this is a big one. The Ticats Audio Network will bring you all the information leading up to the game on Friday, which you can hear. It's at listen.ticats.ca.
This has been Run It Back with RJ Broadhead. If you like what you're hearing, give us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your audio content.